good night, and welcome to Bank Talk. My name is Jason Clark, and today I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts, Mr. Damien Reed, Hakeem Nero, Dwayne Collymore, and Mr. Hassani Evening. And tonight we're joined by a very special guest, former Barbados cricketer turned ICC international umpire, Mr. Leslie Reifer.
Lars.
Good night, Mr.
Good
Reifer.
evening, guys. Hi, good evening, guys. How is everyone?
Long time coming, long time coming, long time. Long time coming.
Really a pleasure being here. You guys would have asked me before, and I'm really glad that I got this opportunity to come and shed a little light on my story at this point in time. How are you guys doing, man?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Hey, how are things? How are things on your side? You had a pretty long season, so you enjoying this downtime now?
Yeah, definitely enjoying the downtime. Had prior to these last 2 weeks off, had 4 months on the road from May the 11th, umpiring different international series, also some regional cricket involved earlier in the year as well. So, really glad for the downtime. Then spend some family time and just chill a bit and, just take it easy.
Okay. Well, before we obviously get into the umpiring, first I want to start, with your journey through cricket. Your dad, Leslie Reifer, he's a former Barbados cricketer. Your cousins with Floyd Reifer, who would have captained the West Indies team. Raymond Reifer, also your cousin, pretty well known cricketer. So cricket was definitely all around you, throughout your entire life. So if you could just give us, some of your first memories of cricket and how you really fell in love with the game.
Interestingly enough, I was kind of a late developer into the game. I would say I started playing cricket and understanding a bit about the game from about 6 years old. But my dad and my mom were taking me around from the time I was, really and truly 1.5. I was around cricket. I remember my first memory of playing cricket was, I remember one time I used to actually bat. Basically the wrong-sided, I used to bat left-handed, but with a right-hander's grip, right? So I was on a cricket tour with my dad somewhere I remember actually nursing that Steve Yearwood. He actually just adjusted me, turned me the other way. And I remember from that point on being able to actually hit the ball properly and so on. So that is the really and truly the first memory that I have of playing cricket as maybe a 6-year-old, being turned from a left-hander, batting with a right-hander, into a right-hander, and being able to, throw my first cricket shot in a proper way. So I would say that I developed late. Yes, I come from a cricketing family, a long lineage of people that play cricket at a high level, to say. In Barbados, a couple of guys play for the West Indies, Floyd and Raymond. But really and truly, it's really in the veins, as people would say. It is pretty much all that the family, is known for. Sport, cricket, and so on. So yeah, it's just by being around, the others, the older ones, I was able to, pick up and understand, recognize certain things, and that's how I really actually would have fallen in love with the game.
Okay, and you obviously would have played school cricket. I think there's a story that Nero always shares. I think when your dad was umpiring a game, but I can let Nero get into that a little later because I can't remember this story. I know Nero would have mentioned it a couple of times, but I can't remember. So I can let Nero get that story a little later.
Press is a very part of that story as well. Dario,
it's true.
Because he was the ball. Yes, Dario was the bowler at that time. But as you said, to get into that throughout the show.
Yeah,
very interesting story.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little later. But yes, and then you would have went on to represent Barbados. So I just wanted to find out from you, how was that feeling? First time representing your country. You're following in the footsteps of your dad and Floyd at that particular point in time. how was that feeling for you getting that first cap for Barbados?
My JS, that is probably my proudest moment, in my lifetime so far. Being able to represent Barbados in cricket, regardless of what age group it's at, being able to obviously had to compete and go through trials and so on to make that team. It was a really, really good feeling to make that Barbados team and to receive what I still hold very close to my heart, my Barbados, what I consider to be the baggy blue, my fluffy. Really and truly, it means the world to me. I still have it. I have it currently in Ziploc bag just to preserve it for as long as possible. And eventually, when I'm able to move into a home or something, I will definitely, that's something that I will frame and put on the wall, because that means that is the stepping stone right there. That's the foundation, really and truly, for where I am today, being able to represent Barbados at under 15. I also represented Barbados at under 16 the following season. Just being able to play those 2 years, that was a really good feeling. Being able to, obviously, you say, following the footsteps of your family, that's a nice part of it too. But knowing that at that point in time, you are literally one of the best cricketers in Barbados. And we know the history of cricket in Barbados. We produce a lot of quality cricketers. So to be able to be amongst 15 or 14 in a Barbados team on merit, it really is a very satisfying feeling now as a 32-year-old, being able to play for Barbados as a 15 and 16-year-old.
Okay, interesting. And I just want to. At what point did Leslie Reifer realize that playing cricket is not the path I want to go down?
That way BCC beat them, man.
No.
Come here, beat them, not BCC. Come here.
Listen,
Hey, come
to
here.
be honest, mate,
Come here, beat them.
to be honest, my cricket career was already in my mind finished well before that time. I was merely at that point in time just enjoying the game, knowing that at that stage I was about to go into umpiring. But for me, how the story started in terms of official umpiring. As we know, the cricket system in Barbados, is one that some individuals can fall through cracks and so on, when not nurtured and taken care of, basically. So coming through the system on the 15 or the 16, yes, I made the Barbados on the 15 team and so on, but that transition period, there's no under 17 cricket, right? So you're playing under 19 and you're probably not one of the better players. So at that time, you have some pretty outstanding players too in Barbados at that time. Because if I remember the age group that I am kind of around, while I may be a bit younger, you're competing with guys like a Shamar Brooks, a household name, a Simon Steele, a Mark Edgeworth. You see the guys that are really excellent cricketers at that age. So the focus at that time was, I would say, it was more on those guys. And a guy like me, I was developing at the rate like a Kyle Corbin. Kyle Corbin developed exceptionally after under 15. Under 15, I know I was a better player than Kyle Corbin. But by under 16, Kyle Corbin was.
I think Kyle would disagree here, but that's another story.
No, I think Kyle would agree, because I remember on a 15 match, born in Dakar, Kyle hit him on his big toe, and the way how we all knew it was out, the world knew it was out, is that his coach was umpiring, Mr. Clifton Phillips, right? And our finger went up.
Okay.
But right, but to say, I felt like at that stage, 16, 17, also my family would have had an impact in relation to my mom is an individual who believes in education first, studies, and so on. She always felt like I would say the Reefers had a hard time in cricket. They didn't really progress to the levels that they should have. So she always wanted me to be able to basically have something to fall back on, something to take care of myself with. So at that age, about 16, 17, then the talk from the household, coming in the household, was around, going to university and trying to go overseas to maybe the States or Canada or even England to university. And fortunately for me, I'm a Canadian citizen. So it was kind of a no-brainer in terms of going to university in Canada in the end. But at that stage, I was at a crossroads. I was at a crossroads where I felt there wasn't any cricket in Canada per se. I also was losing. I felt my love for playing the game a little bit. And just around that stage, I was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Vincent Bulling, right? Who is an umpire himself, local umpire and regional cricket as well. And he highlighted to me a document. He showed me a document, basically highlighting the ICC pathway for young umpires. And so I read that document, and all of a sudden my attention kind of changed. My attention from playing cricket just kind of changed to, hey, this umpiring thing, this is something that, it's interesting. I'm still involved in the game. I love cricket. I feel like I know the game really well, but I didn't really have the right to push on as a player. And even during that time, I kept playing cricket. I kept playing. I remember I played for combined schools, reserve league for combined schools. Had a good season. At that time, Mr. Mosley was the coach. He was the player coach, and really bringing along some young good cricketers around that. And I felt at that stage I was still involved in cricket, but then next year, kind of the interest of playing the game diminished. And again, around that same time, I would say that's around a year on it. That would be around 2007, 2008, right? At that time, the interest kind of diminished towards playing the game. The focus more went towards, umpiring. This is something interesting. And I remember when I got into really enjoying umpiring, it's something that I really, really enjoyed at that point in time. I didn't love playing cricket anymore. Didn't love it anymore. But I loved the game. And I still was able to sustain it through umpiring.
Yeah, that's great that you still love the game. You know that you want to be around the game, and it was great that you can still find another avenue that would definitely keep you around the game. And doing some research here for this show, pretty sure I saw that you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I said that you are the youngest ever international umpire. Is that correct?
I believe so. I believe the stats have indicated that. I know for sure, for a fact, I'm the youngest person to ever umpire in a T20 international.
International.
Right? From what I've seen on the stats is that there are a couple of individuals back in for example, the 1930s and 1940s and so on, where at that stage, sometimes even there were occasions where a selector would have umpired the test match because there were umpires or umpires were on strike or something of that nature. So apparently there was a guy a bit younger than me that did a test match internationally already, but he wasn't really an umpire per se. So according to the stats, I'm definitely the youngest to do a T20 international. And in recent and modern times, I would say definitely the youngest person to do an international game.
And when you sit back and you're reading these articles about yourself and you're seeing these, all of these news bulletins about yourself, knowing that you decided to pull away from actually playing the game and going to umpiring, how does that make you, feel, like I said, one of the youngest, if not the youngest, international umpire in the world? That's a great achievement there.
Yeah, and I mean it's something that I feel good about, to be honestly, I feel good about it. But I don't let it really and truly, that aspect of it, cloud my mind or cloud my judgment, because there's more out there for me. There's a bigger picture. So I mean, it's nice to see some articles and so on, but you gotta remember umpiring that it's also it's part of your lifestyle. And there'll be good days, there'll be bad days, there'll be days where you have a nice glowing article about you, but then there'll be days where somebody's burning a picture of you as well. So at the end of the day, I understand. I understand that that there will be ups and downs. So I don't let it phase me or really I don't feel great. But it's a good feeling. I must say it's a good feeling. But at the end of the day, I know that there's a bigger picture out there to go to the highest level, and that definitely is my aim.
All right, I gonna ease off for some of the
Yeah.
questions. Let the other guys get in because I
Good
jump
night.
up a little later.
Yeah, good night,
Yeah, good
brief.
night,
I
fellas.
come in. Okay.
Good night, Manny.
Brief question. Yeah, but you see, man, then forget a very critical part. You see, I was fortunate enough to meet no brief, the hustler, the juice man at BCC as we call him, man.
I wasn't gonna
The
get into all
juice,
of that, but you
the,
go ahead.
the juice,
Go ahead.
the juice man, man. Enter BCC,
Uh-huh.
head into the cafeteria. See my brief set up on the bench. I'm 50,000 strong raw brief, and just juices just coming up. Yeah, evening. What you want today? I got pineapple.
Definitely.
I got oats. I got fruit punch. Tell me what you want. All right, just give me some
Coconut.
lemonade,
coconut punch.
Yeah.
Just, in my other suitcase, but so big so. And I swear these juices in that.
2 gear bikes,
2 gear bike.
2 good tires, one MRF and 1 BCA.
At that time, just everybody at BCC going to brief, either going to the cafeteria or coming from the cafeteria, you know.
Yeah.
Brief in the ideal selling location. You got to pass it one way or the other. And if you're coming from the other side, which is the nurses, well, we nurses as be, but not really nurses as be. What's that? When coming from the front,
You can knock off for us.
right,
So place like
right.
that.
And you get the cafeteria, and you know you see a crowd, you want to know what's going on. For the time you see a crowd, everybody there. My brief just said, "No, like a kingpin." Yeah, yeah. Girls that that's him saying it was illegal to sell like premises, you know. Girls bad for you, man. Shooters bad for you, man. Listen, no, there's the source you can buy things from, you know. No, you got juice machines on campus, you know. These things back in the law, you know. And brief got a shop up and running. And that is one of my fondest memories of brief. The hustler side of brief. Brief is sell anything you want, anything. Cricket season can run. BCC fellas want gear. Brief running, all right. You want to order that? All right, you got to pay it out there. That little deposit it. Hustling from early. That's the brief I know. That's the brief I that enjoy. Not saying I don't enjoy this one, but that was one of the fondest memories of brief there. The hustler brief. And obviously it was a trap.
Not much in change.
Yeah, oh, Miss Austin was this P department right behind it. It was having the yeah. I tell you, brief had every boy going there. It was illegal to say in the rule book to solicit on campus. You can't sell on campus. Only Leslie Reefer Jr. had the license to set up shop on campus. Besides the cafeteria and the quick source.
Everybody wait for you for 2.
And the security guards coming up and one boy going over the bike to get rest, you know. These security guards that one time, man. You can't sit there, buddy. You can't lame there. Don't be lame.
Right.
Man, ban from brief. So it was not just man could set up a shot like that is a large one.
Hardworking, ambitious, driven. Also, that's all.
Correct.
That's all it was at that time.
So Leslie, we call you Leslie. Most people don't know. I know you as brief. You know, close friends. I want to know. You know, on TV you see umpires tend to be getting criticized at bad decisions. You know, but the whole game they had a good game, but I won decision. You understand that would be headlines or like how is he feeling? You understand? Being so young, you understand, and knowing that you're representing not only yourself but a region. Like what sort of pressure is your first international game? Like you was Leslie nervous, Leslie confident, like how it was, man. Talk me through the emotions that went through that day. From the time you get the call to saying, all right, Leslie, we want you to umpire against Sri Lanka here in Barbados at the Oval.
All right, very good question there, Dwayne. First feeling, getting the call up to do an international game. Mate, over the moon, butterflies. You know, fuzzy feelings on inside, pinching yourself. 26 years old, you can do an international game? Serious? Like, you got yourself. And for me, I'm a confident person, you know, but I know at the end of the day that I'm there to do a job. And the job, once I do it to the best of my ability, the majority of the time I will have a decent game, a decent tournament, right? As you mentioned, umpiring, there's always that aspect of getting one wrong, getting two wrong, even three wrong. But at the end of the day, it's about really and truly focusing on next ball. It's like the way how I look at it is like it's like batting. You could get a peach of a delivery. Just pass you off some. You miss that delivery. You have to be in the moment for the next delivery, regardless of what's happened for the past delivery. So just getting back to the feeling, I mean, it was an amazing feeling. My first international game, West Indies versus India in Florida. Amazing feeling. No DRS in that game. So, coming into it for the first time, I must admit, that took a little bit of a load off, because coming from club cricket, regional cricket, 18 cricket, then to international cricket, in the West Indies, I would have never been exposed to a significant amount of technology, right? Mm-hmm. So the first international game being non-DRS, a little bit of a relief, I must admit, but at the end of the day, I always felt that I could handle it when I got the opportunity to, as I have many occasions since then. Back in, I think it was 2016, and we did. We weren't using DRS in that series, but just the feeling. I remember going to as players go to their warm-up sessions. The umpires would also tag along, and we would go to the player sessions. So the same way they're batting and bowling, we're standing, calling no balls wide, trying to pick up different angles, bowlers are bowling from, different player traits, how batsmen are hitting the ball, all the different things you're looking at when you go to a training session. And I remember walking to the Indian training session, and MS Dhoni kind of looked at me like, huh? And then he went over to his coach and he asked, what's going on? Why is a West Indies player here at our training? Right? So, I mean, getting things like that. I remember in my first game as well, in the training session, Ravi Ashwin just walking up to me, and he said, wait, you're here with the West Indies? I said, no, I'm actually here. I'm going to be umpiring in the second T20, or first T20, can't remember which one it was. And he said, it's really nice to see a young guy umpiring, asking my age and so on. He said, wow, you look great. I wish you all the best in the game. And he shook my hand. And, that was a really nice gesture. And, that really, I would say that was one of the first aspects of international cricket where welcome. It was a very surprising interaction, really and truly. I am one that I tend to try to get along with people and, try to create a good working space and a working environment with individuals. But, that was different for me. And, it was a nice welcome to international cricket, really and truly.
Well, yeah, that's good. I remember man really got a question there.
Let's say no answer. You said about the first game not being with DRS. Tell us now about your first experience with DRS. Somebody appealing or whatever the case may be. You either upholding that decision or turning it down. And then whether the captain of the field team or the batsman calling for the review. Like you hardly flirted, you get it saying right. Or you just be cool, calm, and collecting, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, to be honest, it took me a little while before I got my first overturn in international cricket. I think I went through about 7 international games, whether it be T20 or ODI, before I had my first overturn. So, I mean, before that, I would have had a few decisions upheld. So basically, I would have made the right decision. And that gives you a tremendous amount of confidence. Knowing you're coming from regional cricket, first class cricket, no TV, no DRS, and going into an international game, and you're showing yourself, you're proving that you can get decisions right. So you feel like you belong. It's almost like you're going to bat in an international game, and you hit your first 4. You feel a little more settled, the nerves kind of ease off a little bit. So it took me a little while, really, before I got one right in international cricket. I've gotten a few. I can remember all of my overturned decisions, every single one. Really, actually, is just part of the game. I am a young man growing up, coming up to umpiring. You would have seen the transition where cricket umpiring was going towards DRS. So you kind of know if you're going to get into umpiring, if you're going to move on in umpiring. you have to be aware and accepting of the errors and accepting of changing a decision and overturning the decision and being looking at somebody looking at you on TV and knowing that you are wrong. So at the end of the day, it's part of the game. I've accepted it now. Like I say, I can remember my overturned decisions because I mark myself hard. I look at my reviews and my replays to see where I've gone wrong. Maybe I can do something better. But just like as a batsman, man, there's always a delivery that is way better than you are. So it has your name on it. So regardless of how good you are, you got to nick that delivery or that one stump. So I just felt like an umpire too. They got some deliveries that just too good for us. We miss it. We miss the line. We miss the trajectory. You get it wrong.
I back at you again. Oh, sorry, Nero. Sorry.
All right. Hi, good night, Leslie, man. Like I said earlier, long time coming.
Good night, Akeem.
Hey, man. A bit earlier, you mentioned a few times that you represented the island, but obviously only a few will know. But who would you compare your game to? Who would you compare your game to for those who don't know? Hey, batting and bowling. Yeah. That's my first question.
At that stage in my life, my favorite cricketer of all time is Sir Carl Cooper, right? And at that stage in my life, I felt like I used to hit the ball similar to Carl Hooper. I used to play the ball late. I used to play nice late dabs and flip the ball through the legs. So I would
disappoint the crowd a lot. Don't forget that part.
That will happen in life. Sometimes you're disappointed, especially when you feel that you can achieve much more. So that people become disappointed because they feel that they felt like they could be doing much more about it. But yeah, I would say that I modeled my game of Carl Hooper. I used to play the ball off my legs, distinctive, just like Sir Carl. I noticed I've named it. I call him Sir Carl. Right?
And the bowling. That's correct, Chris.
Sorry, and the bowling.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I didn't have many.
I would say we have
inspiration. I mean, to be honest, we have Hines used to get some wickets for the West Indies, but as you know, I used to bowl quite often for that Michaels. I think I might have you in my pocket maybe once or twice as well, Nero.
Oh, shit, look at trouble.
Other was about to say, I'm sorry, remember back in the day.
I definitely used to swing the ball. I used to swing the ball and I used to understand what I was doing with the ball.
So Lionel Baker then. Lionel Baker.
And in. Very slow pace, a bit chubby.
Very.
You understand? But let me tell you something. Even with that size and stuff, still used to playing in the mileage, playing in the overs, man. I used to run and bowl 8 overs, 10 overs for the trot, 10 for 17 with 2. My best figures, if I must admit, was against that Lodge school team that won the under 15 championship. Jamar Brooks, Ryan Herbert, Dwayne Seeley to name a few, Chad Linton. St. Michael's went up to Lodge that year, fellas. I got 4 for 5. I got 4 for 5. Ryan Herbert, LBW, Corbin Big Toe Liquor, Speedy Stumps lick down, Chad Linton stuff, 4 for 5. Champion stay down here on the 15, so I gotta doing at least something a little bit.
Yeah. But so Reed, who won the game? Your best. Who won the game? He stayed there no boy.
The first day was random. So hold on. Y'all can hear me on the 15th.
Yeah.
2-day cricket. First day was random. So we
Correct.
only played one game. We got bowled out cheaply. We got 16. My dude, where we scared out Lodge about 52, man. We scared out Lodge. I get first against the champions. The only team, the soft and Michael school team, the only team that get first against Lodge that entire year.
So you made the battle and lost the war.
Quality.
All right, Leslie. All right, obviously back in the day, we would have been obviously the big ones from other schools competing in the position. So obviously, would have been following the Leslies, the Carbines, the Bouchers, those guys in our age group. And I remember we had a class shot. know, QEH ground there, man. People just walk across and ride the motorcycle and thing. Yeah, get the vast style. You know what I mean? Play there.
And it's got the pavement going across the path.
It's pavement going across the past. I don't know. Joking. Yeah?
Yes.
So remember press, and remember getting at the press. You know, press was my big Mitchell star at that time. So it's a press. You know, this fella. He don't like it quick, huh?
Yeah.
He don't like it quick, buddy. So we get roughly feathers, huh? All right, now. So this was a big game at the time. You gave me the balance now. Bless the Reifer. Press gear. A bumper, you know? Bum. Caught on the boundary. You celebrating.
A bumper or a beamer? A bumper or a beamer?
Apple or oranges, yeah. You know?
You're right,
Whatever he's saying is. But he gave a quick bump, so bang. Oh, caught on.
It was not a bounce in the road. We got to set the record straight.
It was a beamer.
Record straight. Nero, this is going all over the world. It was a beamer above waist height. Above waist height as well. Beamer.
Above.
Okay.
I remember a bumper. Very quick. Bum. Beat me, caught. You celebrating. Let's Reifer out. We can let them wrap up this game now and beat St. Michael's. Dad, that can't be out, Dad. Not out. 6. You know you don't get back on the field. Boy, Ellie, all of a sudden, let's not hope. Yeah.
So Nero, you're saying though that his dad was umpiring.
Yes.
And he got out. And and all of a sudden
it's 6.
It's 6.
He's not out. He's not out and it's 6.
He's not out and it's 6.
Man. Cool. Let me set the record straight. Look, Michael. Always a fierce boxer. I think that's Robert Street. Right, good. Always a fierce battle between the two schools, St. Michael and Louis.
See?
Lost my game there. Lost my game, man.
He was.
Remember that game, bro?
That's a late day, Nero.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
I remember that game, boy. Man said hit a leaf.
Yeah, man said he said something about a box. I said, yeah.
I said hit a leaf. That run was horrible, though. That was a grown me.
Nero, I know you don't get off when you feel, boy, but
that's one, boy. Over here.
But Fed, was it a beamer? It would have been a beamer. Logically speaking, was it a beamer?
It was a
beamer. I remember, man. It was a beamer. Yeah, it was a
press scan,
but to be honest, though, Nero, when you said press bumpy, yo. I mean, I know Riff don't like PS, but that happened no shot. To be honest,
it was a beamer, man.
But what was
But in our cricket at that time too, you ain't really getting called beamers, no. Don't forget you have all these rules where the ball above your years ago. You know, you sit there if the ball above your neck, is in the ball. It's only no man start saying above your waist, I think.
Years ago, so that was 17 years. That gonna be years ago, brother.
Back then that was just a full toss. A fast full toss.
But what got me is that the man called it 6. He never said in the ball. The man called it 6.
Yeah, man
catch the ball.
Because you
hit a leaf.
What happened to?
Hit a
leaf. You know, St. Michael's on that same pasture, it's got the walkway, so the trees, it's got like trees growing over. You know what I'm saying? Man, so it hit the leaf. I remember that game.
So the leaf was over the boundary.
I remember that game.
So it hit the leaf and come back in.
So we found the umpire and I get out.
It didn't umpire didn't come, boy. He feeling, boy.
Yeah, he might feeling. Let's look back at life, boy.
But
I got some stories. I got some stories there. My man told me the guy lost, man. I just went to see what my man said. My man at Lodge, we at Lodge Jason, we playing Cormier. We playing Cormier. Big clash. He said, fellas got all in. Day before, we got a big meeting. We discussing Ralston. We got Craig. Honestly, I can't remember playing for Craig, though. You know, so I couldn't remember playing for Craig. But he man discussing all these men, Jess. The day comes so, he man got the plan set. Man said, all right, Ralston's drive this cricket ball on the short extra cover. I had to keep an eye here too. Obviously, the chubby man, but he had good hands. You understand? Always was a good keeper. Thanks, big up Mr. Phillips for that too. Come from Louis Lynch, Mr. Chapman, smarted the ball. Mr. Phillips see me an evening and said, listen, this little man got hands. Then from next evening, he come, it was beer corny island drills, beer cones, skipping through here, skipping through there. So then we go on Rampy at cover, Rampy drop Roston. That was the end of the game, Jess. That was the end of the game. I my man brief. Brief is in the pavilion, you know the old pavilion now. Brief at the top of the step, you know, and he's saying he foot lock, he foot lock, real, looking real professional. I peek cross, now you see on your phone, here on your phone. Yeah, fellas, we can go and play Common Mirror. Lodge can get beat, we go and play Common Mirror in the finals, because they had played the finals, I think, a day or two before. You understand? So they had already qualified. So he come up there spying, he plays a tactician. Yeah, fellas, we can go and play Common Mirror. We can go and play Common Mirror, man. Yeah, we can go and play Common Mirror, man. I said, well, all right. We get beat that game, Jess. That was so cool. Yeah, that was cruel, man. Rampy dropped the game. That's the truth. And then my man knocked twisty ankle. I know you remember Nico Allen. My man get dough with the arm, but not you some ball real decent, Not get dough with the arm ball, and then what Mashup not to know is not knowing he's a chubby guy, and he won't jump and celebrate. Woohoo! Line of twisty ankle. My foot swelled so big. Man, over the game from there, brother. So we defeated. Go all that shit. And my man brief just like that. That one, my phone is cricket moments of brief, man. Brief out there taking beer notes.
And brief get Rossi final, right?
Yeah, we going on overly next day. Mr. Phillips is so cruel.
Let's hear it.
Over.
Was it? Yeah. I'm here, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
But you stop. You're not state. You stop. Past tense.
Yeah.
I see a black screen.
You're blank. No, you're blank. You're morning. We can hear you, but we ain't see you, man. But yeah, just we going over. I want he come back in, because I want he explain for the life of me. We going over now. We saying, all right, Lodge and Cormier got a rival. Cormier beat we will attack the BCC win. You understand? We will feel good with the BCC win. That was always a rival. Cormier. We never want Cormier win nothing. It could be second king. We don't want Cormier win. You understand? That's just a rivalry. We going over. And BCC did well, Jason Holder. You have my man Snoop.
Yes.
I see you. Man got Cormier here dead, boy.
Yeah.
Let's get look Cormier for 100 and a little bit, Jace. And then the man start rough. Snoop, that man started hit some. I started beat the ball and say, all right, this game me the bag. And in cricket, there's always they got hat trick in hot rating. Jason and the fellow Snoop was batting good. And then Justin Graves came on. And Justin Graves ball a life ball at that back. I hit Jason in that uncomfortable area, And Jason was down for like 5 minutes getting treatment and whatever. And Jason come with the next ball, they say who? Jason missed this ball, so momentum swing. So you could see Justin realizing already got in. Jason see him over the man, carry Justin and Jason. Nick off. You see from there? Hat trick ain't hurt Jason boy. Because then the fella Snoop hold out now to the big side. Because he was attacking, so the man going. Hold out and he fine. And check out my guy Leslie. You always kit out. GM, beer GM kit. Beer GM kit. My guy's strolling out to the crease. I said, well, Lord, my man's the captain. He batting on the order too. I didn't know if he hiding or he batting on the order. I said, well, my guy's stroll out here, well. This is the last hope, Jesse fell in last of long snow. Come on, man. In and out. Nice GM kit. In and out, man. I said, man. That's my phone.
Fellas.
Sky the ball, Jess. Yeah, man. Sky the ball. Sky the cricket ball. Sky the cricket ball, man.
He got issues.
Yeah, he got.
I ain't gonna get some floor experts out there, man. My sky cricket ball, Jess. In and out. And just that thing, pads is no big. And that thing you really lost style. You bending in your pads and your pads big. I talk now, Fellas stroll out. He lost his love snow when Carmelo in the game, yeah. I was hurt, man.
Yeah, I remember.
I felt like the man beat me twice.
I
But that was good
back
times.
then, man. Carmelo
Yeah,
Lodge.
that was good rivalries, man.
Carmelo Lodge was the part of hostess, boy.
But
It's unfortunate Nero got the original cups in that era. You would have enjoyed it at Lodge though, Nero.
Man, Nero come at Lodge too. Nero come at Lodge in a second division game. I remember that game. Come at Lodge now, you know. He had a fella named Fishy. Fishies. Come in, you know. He was a character, yeah. But anyway, man, fish bowling decent, you know. Nero the big
I
man.
was born about 90 at that time too.
You was bowling some everything.
No, at that time it was really like it was me and
Bowling
Roach.
90.
It was me and Roach that was the two fast balls at that time.
See, he was
you
balling
know,
90 kilometers per hour. 90 kilometers per hour.
Jess, in our team
me
too,
and
right?
Roach was
You know,
the two. Oh Lord, no.
you know, he in our team now, you know, he's one of the better players, or if not the best. So he doing as he like, Jess. Spin, pace, he doing as he like, doing as he like, Jess.
But one of the other day, right, Faye? I don't know how it crossed my mind, but it crossed my mind. Man, that was back at Louis Lynch, and you know he can hardly sell for the basketball court too. I ain't get.
Yeah.
I don't remember when he was gonna play, and Nero would always be the person now to go and Nero would always be the person now to go and add the scores now. So to whoever is taking praise or whatever the following morning. I hope Nero got this much, you don't know. So you was there though. Akeem Lane scored 16 points. For instance, obviously Jason Clark scored 10 points. Devin Collins scored 16 points. So they were here. And Akeem Lane scored a mere 45 points. Hey, like, I don't know how that goes, but it was what it is. I just see it. Ray is one of the better players, is the captain or whatever. They just do what they like, man.
You might do it like this, but I gave me a score of runs. You scored a run.
I remember that for you, yeah.
Oh,
yo, early boy.
I don't know how. It just crossed
the good old days, boy. If we can hear you,
hi, Leslie. You with us? Leslie really having some problems with that internet, man.
You near read too as well.
That got me. Don't say what he last name.
He got read too.
Yeah, he near read too as well.
Wait, briefly, he got some beach with the phone, man. Some boy probably take out your line.
We got that digital out there, man.
That the days, yes,
boy. There. But we have some good things, man. That's some good things, boy.
It's true.
My man, Nero's always.
I ever tell one of my press story with Triple Jump. I never tell this one on air, Jess. So, you know, I want, you know, try to train on my embarrass on the 19 thing, you know. So, telling my man, my press.
Yeah.
Well, you look proper no work. I can keep that story for another time.
Yeah.
Nah, Nero, you gotta tell it, Nero. You gotta tell it. You can't start it.
You're back, we brief, man. Remember, I glad you're back. Cause we was talking.
I heard some of the things you already going back. I can't forget that we were speaking on before. If I may go back, right?
I still got questions for you, though. I still got questions for you, but I need you to address that.
Louis Lynch. St. Michael's versus Louis Lynch. The umpire didn't turn up. As is the norm.
Yeah, good.
As is the norm, the home coach would ask somebody to officiate. Either he would do it himself, or he would ask someone. My old man was in the game. So obviously at that time as well, my father was a qualified umpire at that time. So they asked him to stand in and officiate the game. Good. Game going on, everything normal. Dario Prescott, from Louis Lynch, left arm steamer, runs up and pulls a beam at me, right? I pull it in the air. And as we know, there are some mild trees just over the boundary at the Michael School at the QEH Road. There's some trees overhanging the boundary. Based on the laws of cricket, right? A boundary must must be established before the game. The norm at St. Michael's School, if the ball hits any part of the tree on the field, whether that be the branch, whether that be the trunk, whether that be the fruit by the tree, for example, it is 6 runs. The ball just went high, came through the branches.
Oh my God.
This is a leaves drop off the tree, brother. This is a leaves drop off the tree. So I just highlighted, just like any other player would, when he feels he's been given out off on the ball. Is that gonna be in the ball and the ball hit the tree too? Okay, in the ball. 6. Hold on. I can tell you the truth. 2 balls later, press ball, never be my. I slam again. Somebody catch it. And I call him for no ball. I said, that isn't the ball. Boy had to walk off there. We might give me out. Ball over waist type. Ball over waist type, man.
So I did it
That
like.
is the true story. That is the true story.
So I did it like. So I did it
At
like.
that time, Breeze, at that time, under 15 in that cricket, we ain't know about not overweight the balls, man.
Any fast pace, hold on. No. Any based on the laws of cricket at that time.
Man, we talking about based on the reality. We ain't talking about the laws.
No.
We talking about on reality.
Fast pace delivery above waist is in the ball.
I mean, you should tell you over your shoulder and all about the thing.
Slow pace, which is a little spinner. But press is a medium pace, is a fast pace, and 15 fast pace.
All right, Leslie.
So it was definitely
Yeah, man. But very
My
nice.
2 for you, Leslie.
Yeah.
I remember probably on the 16th, on the 17th tour to England.
Yes.
Right. Would you say Barbados as a country, as one of the leaders in cricket in the Caribbean, would you say that we have failed to have more tours like that for the exposure of the youth? Because I find sometimes the youngsters, even the professionals, they don't go to England till they're in their 20s and then they act surprised, not only with the cold, but then the moving ball, etc. So would you say we have failed in that aspect? Although I know the under 19s just had a tour, but that's the region, that's not Trinidad, that's not only Jamaica, that's not Barbados. And secondly, after you get through that part, I just want you to talk us through the tour of Jamaica. With BCC, I know y'all used to have, that's one of the tours you always talk about. See how JSPS light up. So after you get to the England,
That's what friends are for.
Yeah, bro. Definitely touch on that. Yes, I think that more needs to be done in order to help cricketers develop. As we know, the Caribbean is a unique place to play cricket. How our pitches are different. The way how we play the game is unique as well. The way how the game is played in England is very unique, very traditional, very different way. And I would encourage all the authorities to, try to have these tours available for young guys, because it really opens your eyes to first and foremost the opportunities out there. Not only just going to England and seeing different infrastructure as a cricketer. There's a lot that you start to feel really good about yourself being in England as a cricketer. The outfields always cut well. The pavilions, no matter how small they may be, always well organized. So just like cricket in Barbados, they have their club. Their club is a structure up there that's very strong as well. And you have, I heard you guys mention last week about a club man. You have people that are involved in those clubs that are club people. They're taking care of the club. They're taking care of the overseas pro. Really and truly, it is a nice experience. For example, I can speak for myself. I was fortunate enough to go to England prior to that on the 16th trip. I went with Windward Cricket Club as their junior. Basically, Windward used to go up to England, I believe, every 2 years. And they would take along with them 1 or 2 guys around the age of 15 or 16. So the men would be playing the cricket and so on, but you would also feel sometimes you would be a 13th man, but then sometimes you would find yourself back in number 3. Sometimes you'll find yourself getting the opportunity to open the bowling. So I went out a couple months before that on the 16th tour, and that was a real eye opener. I mean, being there playing cricket for the first time. Like I mentioned, I would have been to England on a number of occasions before with my dad going on cricket tours, and I just being a part of the touring party, but never actually putting on whites and actually being involved in the game. It's a place that when you go there, it makes you feel like playing cricket in the year. Fellas, it really makes you feel like playing cricket. When you turn up and you see the lawn well cut, the facilities organized, 10 different practice pitches. I mean, if you like cricket and love to play the game, the only thing you're going to do is stack up a bat and ball there. I want to play and get better. And it's a place as well, which I found as a bowler or as a doubler. It's a place that used to make you feel you're really better than you are. You stack at the ball in England and it's swinging, it dancing in and out. So again, you really feel like bowling is almost like taking up a tape ball in the road and cutting off a little quarter, right? And they started to play the ball is blow up just like that. So it's a really nice place to be to play cricket. It really encourages you. And I would encourage all the authorities to really and truly, to allow provide the opportunities, things in place, put the infrastructure in place, the sponsorship, the finances in place, in order to get young cricketers, whether they be male or female, to places like England and a bit further than that. Australia is also a very good place in terms of your cricket development. There are a few Beijing guys that they're now doing player coaches role as well. I think most of you guys may know Peter Clark, a very dear friend of mine. He's now working as basically the sports psychologist for the Cricket Australia. So he works with the men's team. He works with the women's team on the 19, they're halfway all through. And he's a Bajan just like all of us right here. So really and truly, there are opportunities out there. Again, not everyone is good enough to go there and look for them. Sometimes some people may wait for opportunities to be provided, right? But whatever way you go about it, more needs to be done from a local perspective to encourage cricketers to get out there and become senior pros and junior pros at clubs in other places in the world. And Ro, I think it was that question.
The BCC tour.
Please remind me. What is BCC tour?
Yeah, hold on.
BCC tour to Jamaica. All right, that tour came about as a result of the UTEC college in Jamaica. They organized a cricket tour where it was basically like a campus competition. So they invited, I guess, UE Mona, they invited UE Barbados, they invited Barbados Community College, and at that stage, I think that was my final year of BCC, and I was the under-19 captain at that time as well. And at that stage, I would have already given up my dream, international test cricket and so on. However, as I mentioned to you guys, always loved the game, still love the game, but they really love playing it as much anymore. So at that time, my dad as well was a coach of BCC. So he was, at that time, our coach, and I was the captain. And they invited us to come and play. And
wow.
We really and truly... favoritism at all. It's called having a mutually beneficial relationship, a mutually beneficial understanding, right? At the end of the day, they invited us to Jamaica. I took it upon myself as the leader of the under-19 team to ride the guys together, to get the guys to have their mums and their aunties and the sisters, whoever, to drop off some cakes and so on, so we can have some bake sales and cake sales, etc. So we organized that. We were able to raise some funds, and along with the juices and so on that I was selling at that time also, So it made by doing that little fundraising, it made the trip a lot more accessible and affordable to all our sundry. So everybody at BCC wanted to go for this tour. People that have never played cricket in their life were coming practice with new kids. I ain't calling
question. It's just like a question. Question. I got a question for you though before going. So you made the tour on merit, or was it
on friendship?
How was the
as the business owner, I guess he had.
I ain't sure. Merit or
no, boy.
This is a classic example of who you know.
It was just like I would say, I think it was a good example of what we see in everyday franchise cricket.
Okay.
Merit certainly.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You have the big day pay horses. And then you have some other guys that may be referred to as the French players that may not play, but they're excellent team men. And they bring something to the dynamic. They bring something to the team environment. So at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, they will always have those individuals. At the end of the day, cricket is a team sport. Cricket is a team sport. So everybody will be a star. Even at that, hold on. Even at that time, as a captain, I was nowhere near one of the better players. We had quality cricketers. Raffet,
We
hurdle.
We ain't talking about you. We ain't talking about you. We talking about your French players.
Your French players.
He was a French player.
Not Jason
French or French player. Which one it was, man?
Well, listen, you could
He was a French or French player.
Do this, you could do
Jason
that.
Clark was one of the top.
That was amazing
Jason
tour.
Clark.
I enjoy. You could talk French
Boy,
players.
we learned a lot.
But Nero, why here to the grapevine with Jess who sponsored book 3 or 4 tickets, yeah. You remember Jess at that point in time, Jess had a deep chat book fan. Man, remember
Well. Go off the tangent again, man.
But yeah, Nero, I know. But that tour was an amazing tour.
Quality cricketers, boys.
So Carlos and Jason, those guys was around.
That tour really
right?
showed me Carlos Raffet's behind ability, boy.
So Jess, you played at any of the games?
None.
Oh, yes.
Not one.
No.
Yes, you ain't as well, Jess. You was part of the. You was a mentor. You were a mentor.
Tournament was compressed, guys. The tournament was a very compressed tournament. The tournament was about 4 games, and it was basically in order to qualify for the finals, you had to win every game, essentially, right? So we needed to play our strongest team at all times. For example, I was captain on that side. I was the captain after just because I was on the 90 captain, and I batted 9 and 10. You understand? Because I'm not one of those.
You should have really and truly missed your name, please. If not for the friends and family discount, you would have missed your name.
No, definitely, because I was the person that facilitated the tour, organized the tour.
So you gotta be there.
You gotta be there. You gotta be there. And you gotta be into. But we ain't worried about you.
We ain't worried about you.
Ain't you we talking about? I want to know FJ. When people come on here, wait. Just let me DJ for a minute. When people come on here, right? Jason Clark just ask people how you was, how to play against you, how you can bat, if you can walk good. I want to know how Jason Clark made this tour and did not play a game as a French player, a French player, a family. How? That's what I want to know, man. What was the criteria for you?
First and foremost, I must state first and foremost. When I started selling cricket gear at 18 years old, one of my first 5 customers was Jason Clark purchasing a GM helmet right in Queen's Park, giving me a deposit for me to order from England. That's before me and Jason were ever friends. You understand? I recognize that Jason just had a good energy about him. Very good, nice individual, nice fella. So Jason in that team. Hold on, I finish yet. Jason was one of the 14, was definitely the 15 best cricketers in Barbados. Sorry, my apologies.
In Barbados?
BCC at that time. At BCC at that time, my apologies. Right? We had an outstanding 11, outstanding. But then the 12, 13, 14 were decent cricketers as well. But Jason, again, what brought something to the team environment and the team dynamic. Right?
He brought a good energy.
He brought a good energy. He's a very good team, man.
But Fed, you hear what Brief said just now. He was in the 15, right? Man. He said the first 11 was dynamic, outstanding cricketers. 12, 13, and 14 were decent players. Yes, and that was 15th, you know. Yes, and that was 15th, man. I want to realize that, man.
Jason's party coach and staff, man.
I beg Jason to come and play on a 9 cricket at BCC, I believe. I beg. I know Jason can play cricket.
Yes, you could have played on the 19 at BCC when you left lodge. When you left lodge, you could have played on the 19 at BCC the next year.
In my first year, yeah.
You could have played 1 year.
So, cause I was.
But Jason, I got good memories of you, and all. Don't feel like I got one or two. At the Oval, Sagari finals. A fella chipped down and ran past one to JS. I don't know if that picture still. I had that picture, but that picture was in the nation.
I got one that burst. I got one that burst the fence. The one that burst the fence. No, that's the one. I don't forget that though. Now. And Brief was at that final too. So Brief like say, yo, fella go play for BCC here, boy. He go make it here.
Yeah.
That was good times, man.
Yeah,
very good team, man.
So Brief.
That tour was
on that tour.
Well,
that was a start. That was a star-studded tour. What happened to BCC in the tournament?
We played really very good cricket. Carlos Bradford and Jason Order were outstanding.
But at the end of the day, according to the court, at the end of the day,
we didn't bring home the bacon. We got to the finals.
We got to the finals, and but if you got players in there that you can't rotate, you got players in there that you can't rotate. You players gonna get burned out. You're gonna get fatigued.
3 to 40, 20 games, right?
Yes, they can get fatigued.
UWE Barbados at the time the CCC program was around.
Yeah.
They had guys playing first class cricket. At that stage, Carlos or Jason, I don't think would have played any first class cricket as yet. So you did have experienced guys. Even Shirley Clark played in that tournament.
Jason Paris played.
Jason Paris played in that tournament as well. So you had a much better team. Yeah, they had a very good team, but we competed because we even in the final the game was close. It wasn't a walk away. Yeah. You know, it was a close game. You know, so
but really, I can stray a little now from what people seem to know you as. You know, I know he's got a lot of hats. You wear a lot of hats. So we can stray now to the vision of organizing the under 13 BCS tournament. Like what was Leslie's vision for youth cricket and cricket on the whole? Ain't that you step away from cricket in one aspect, but you pick up in more than one aspect. Like you also the sell the cricket gear as you mentioned. There's also umpire, and then you're also gone into developing youth tournaments, which is something that lacking throughout the Caribbean. Like, where that idea come from? We realize they get this thought from and say, you know what? I may not have the best opportunities, as you say, opportunities far and few. I might not have the best opportunities in between 17 to 19 age group. So let me farm a tournament. I got the resources. I know the people that we could come together, get some people and farm this tournament. What drive Leslie to do this, man?
I would say that drive came from, again, just the undying love for the game. Being under 13 cricket, I remember what it was like playing under 13 cricket. I remember playing for Windward at that stage. There was Spartan, there was North Stars, and there was Wanderers, if my mind serves me correctly. We used to play some little mini tournaments. High quality cricket. Mar Edgell, Simon Steele, Raymond Thornton, Jed Yearwood at that age group at 13 and 12 years old. Outstanding. I mean, the raw material that you would see in our junior tournaments it is fantastic raw material. Quality guys hitting balls inside out at 13 years old. Guys using the feet and hitting the ball all on the ground through mid wicket for 4. You used to see some really high quality cricket. So I remember again being in that, and you would play a 2 or 3 game. Sometimes you may play the course of you got 52 weekends in a year. You may play 8 games a whole year, and you know you kind of play against the same players all the time. And I recall The under 13 tournament had been going on for a long time. This is the what is now called the BCS under 13. Before I believe it was Inspire Sports, I believe under
Mhm.
13. So I would have seen that, and it was basically a continuation from what would have been started by, I believe, the Michael Watsons, the Charlie Thorntons, the Tony Edgels, back in my time as an under 13 player. That would have been started, and then in a smaller capacity. The under Inspire Sports under 13 started, and they had more teams. And again, it's the same concept. Guys are the 13 or under, representing specific clubs, communities, teams, whatever you call it. And that season, where when I got involved, I remember hearing that Inspire Sports was dropping out in terms of the sponsorship. And at that stage, my business was kind of picking up. I was doing okay in terms of my business, so I felt, well, I love cricket. This tournament is a perfect match for what I'm trying to do here. Why not find a way where I could integrate myself and involve myself in this cricket, and see if I could become a title sponsor. And luckily enough, I was given the rights to become a title sponsor, I would say, quote unquote. But at the end of the day, for me, it was always a bigger picture. It was about trying to provide a platform for under 13 cricketer to shine. And for me, I remember the first year I had my tournament. When I say my tournament, I mean the BCS under 13, right? It was nice. Saw a lot of talent come through. That was the year Jacob Bethel made 700 runs. Jaden Leacock 600 runs, something along those lines. You saw some exceptional talent, which that age group there is probably the next cluster of players that will shine for the West Indies. Well, when I say that age group, I mean that cluster, the Rivaldo Clarks, the Carlon Tuckets from Nevis, that kind of age group right there. Those guys, I saw it that year where there was one team, Franklin Stevenson's academy. His team had a uniform, and they looked much more organized than all the other teams. So it wasn't surprising that they won the tournament. So I realized, going around to the games, that before the other teams even played those guys, it almost looked as though they felt they were defeated. And in my mind, I told myself, man, all this has to do with, right, is their confidence. And this here starts from the uniformity, how they look, how they feel as young people, how they feel in their cricket clothes. Because you got one man in a shirt, and that's man is a Michael shirt, one in a Pickwick shirt. So from the second year, I made it my business and a great effort to get as much sponsorship as I can. And I must thank the fellow cricketers, international cricketers, that dip into their pocket year in and year out to assist this venture. And these guys, we got some money together and we ordered uniforms for 275 cricketers, under 13 cricketers in Barbados, 18 teams, a cricket shirt and a hat. So right away, the tournament went to a different level. All the cricket, all the youngsters, the guys and the girls, I can't forget the girls, they have females that play in the tournament as well. You can see the level of enthusiasm was raised. It was now almost like this BCS under 13 was almost like playing for Barbados under 13, regardless of which club you were in. It was something to look forward to. It was like a Barbados Trials. It was a big deal for them. And really and truly, that was my model. From the time the first year occurred, I realized where I could improve this product and where I could assist with, making these young cricketers, young people feel better about themselves and make them feel like coming to cricket on a Saturday and Sunday. Because let's not fool ourselves. There are many things that a 12 and a 13-year-old could be doing on a Saturday. This is 2021, right? This is 1965 anymore. There are many things that an 11, 12, and 13-year-old could be getting up to on a Saturday. And if that youngster decides, I'm going to come cricket, I want to go play cricket, I want him or her not only to look good, but to feel good, to feel like a cricketer, to feel like they're some kind of international superstar. So just by having the different sponsors on the shirt, the guys know it's not a white cricket shirt anymore. It's no a tournament cricket shirt. The guys feel a part of a brand, an image, and it really helped with I would say even the productivity that the tournament would have achieved. You from the second year, the first year as well. For the second year, we had about 25 hundreds that year. About 25 little men score hundreds that year. I mean, a lot of hundreds in the tournament. We had two doubles. So that is the model. That is what I will try to achieve as long as I can. Like, as long as I'm involved in cricket and BCS is up and running, I will make my biggest effort to get some funds in place to organize and structure some cricket for young people to engage and have a platform in. You know what I'm saying?
I want
really and truly go on to bigger and better things.
I want you to know you're responsible. As much as the tournament was fantastic, you're responsible for a young man getting posted by a superstar and getting port to England. I just want to know your tournament is responsible for that youngster coming back as a captain for another international side and beating me. I just want you to remember that, sir. So kindly have not the spectators post videos and clips of our players playing these extravagant shots for coaches in other countries to be seeing the talent and sending for them to kind of spend some time out there and live, buddy. All right?
I totally understand that, but any day, I just organized the tournament. I just provided the platform. But you see, again, like I mentioned, raw materials. We have in the Caribbean here, in Barbados, some serious cricketing talent at that age group. Like, unbelievable talent. The fact that the West Indies team is still even able to compete on an international stage, in my opinion, is an achievement in itself. When you see how far and advanced other nations are ahead of us in terms of cricket, if you see that, Hassani, for yourself, you may wonder how we even beat England sometimes, how we beat Pakistan sometimes. The development and the pathways and the structures that are in place in the bigger cricketing nations are tremendous. And like you see, we can look at England right now. We can see the raw material that we've given them, and they're just grafting it and turning it into a finished product, boy. Quality cricketers for a decade and 2 decades to come. There's already talk about that young man being the best batsman that Warwickshire has seen since Ian Bell. You can imagine receiving those accolades.
Lord,
but brief, you could have seen
it.
You could have seen it from that shot, and in the tournament, obviously it was following because it was a nice tournament. It got bigger and it was exciting because these young, as you said, these young men was pumping hundreds, you know, the man is scoring a little 50 or 25. Young men are ringing in hundreds, and the games were competitive. And to see, as you said, he could back though, like that little man could back. Well, yeah, the guys in that crop could
play. They could definitely play this. We have, as I mentioned, serious raw material. Not only batsmen. We, at that age, I remember there was a youngster, Rashad Warren. His name is Rashad Warren. I posted a video of it on Instagram. I mean,
yeah, boy.
I'm a big cricketer, but I understand cricket and I've seen a lot of cricket. I have never seen a 14-year-old, 13. No, sorry, not 14, because he was under 13 and he wasn't in his final year. I've never seen a 12 or 11-year-old bowl so fast. Right? Serious cricketing talent. We have some little all-rounders there as well. Cricketers, serious talent, and I just hope that the powers that be can harness talent, because we certainly are not short of talent. It's just about harnessing the talent and taking it to the next level and turning it into a finished product.
Where are you going?
I was just gonna ask another question about on the 30, but from a different perspective. Was there any pushback from the traditionalists? I know obviously putting on a tournament, it can't be all easy sailings and stuff like that. So can you speak from that side?
Man, everything you do in life, whatever you're doing, there will be people that criticize, try to hold your back, see it in a different way. By the end of the day, your back gotta be broad, and you have to keep pressing forward with your ideas your thoughts, your practices. But yes, I must state, I remember, especially being a young person, being a person in their 20s, basically organizing a tournament which previously was run by big men. You know, of course they'll be pushed back. They'll be pushed back. But any day you're going to stay strong. Know what you're trying to achieve, because at the end of the day, the way how I see it is that, or the way how I saw it, and the way how I still see it, I should say. And then when I was getting a little pushback, which doesn't really happen now because everything is in order, everything is structured the way how it has to be structured now in order for the pushback not even to reach me, for example. But back then, there used to be, I felt the focus was on winning, and solely winning, whatever it takes to win. So you would have some teams, for example, knowing that Sunday's game, and they're in the tournament, and they're maybe in a tussle with this team to qualify. And you have a team leaving off the covers so that the pitch get wet so they can't play. How could you do that to 12 and 13-year-old boys? So it showed me at that age with a lot of the focus from the coaches, sometimes the parents, was about winning. And for me, a tournament that I'm involved in had to be more about involvement, participation, right?
Development.
Even though when I was a player, I was in my age group, I was one of the better players. I used to get opportunities. I was never one, because I was the captain or whatever of the team, to always be bowling or always be batting. Always like to give another fella opportunity to shine, to come through. So the under 13 for me is about that. Of course, somebody can win. There would be one winner. But I have 18 teams or 19 teams by 15 cricketers or 18 cricketers. Some teams got 18, 20 cricketers. And I know that I have 300 boys or girls, boys and girls off the street on a Sunday. I know I've done my job. I've done my job. Once they're off the street playing cricket for them 4 or 5 hours, however long it may be, I know I've done my job.
A local hero.
A
local hero. And also, Brave, I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but I sure we said you got a platform like this here that we can have some of the youngsters on to help introduce them. As we were discussing last week, as though he was saying, to speak on camera, to get accustomed to expressing yourself, so that when you get picked up for an interview, you don't be but I didn't like that shot there, you know, you're able to carry yourself in one of a professional manner, so people don't see the, you know, and as you said, they can follow this young man progress, and they say, well, this 30-year-old speaking so eloquently, you know, let me follow the progress. And you know, that was good. But I did say that tournament is good, and you know, it was a very professional and well-run tournament. I must give you a lot of props for that, bro. Cricket started on time. The youngsters turned up for cricket. The parents were involved. It goes had a lot of people watching, like people are just enjoying the cricket. And the minute Beto Lara posted that his attendance at the grounds increased, the crowds came out to see him because, you know, Brian Lara endorsed it. So I got to see this for myself. Some of the same so-called radio commentators that there's got most to say about the cricket. Once Lara to post, all of a sudden they could turn up and then want to write articles about this Jacob Bethel. So it's, and I also believe that the media could shed some more light on it, you know, whether it's you stream the games. Cause as you said, we don't, as Fed always said, we don't suffer when it comes to raw talent, you know. We don't suffer. Women in Barbados is just born cricketers naturally, like
born cricketers. That's right. Yeah.
So we just gotta harness it. We have to harness it, and it starts from that level. Yeah. And if they can be professional at that level, they will take it through. They ain't gonna forget. Right. They will never forget that they playing this on the 13 tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you, Hassani. I agree with you 100%. The tournament as well, you know, I would love to make it bigger and better, you know, but obviously sponsorship and finances is always difficult, especially in these times. We haven't had a tournament since 2019, I believe.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
2020, we played as well, but we were interrupted with the COVID and so on. But yeah, the tournament is one where you see a lot of really good raw material, fellas. I mean, I can't stop using that phrase right there because it's right there for any person to see. If you want to see cricketers,
Yeah,
just
I
go to
say
that
so
on
all
the
the
13 cricketer. Go to that on the 13 cricket any Saturday or Sunday. You
I
just
say
see
that all the time.
cricketers.
And even before Clint to come on this show, me and Clint used to talk a lot because some of the cricketers used to go to lodge. So in the community canteen, they would know some of them, you understand me? And they would have it, would say, well, what you can do this weekend, this team can be you, this body you got both for this. So that cricket was
Yeah.
it is a good stat, man. What I would say though, what I would like, or hope maybe the authorities listen to that. The BCA, you always at the BCA, but the BCA could probably take a look and try to structure some tournaments based off of the same BCS tournament because a lot of people who might not know the cricket, like when you go to the cricket, for example, you just said inclusion. Like there's
Yes.
rules where one player cannot do everything like a Nero. Nero could have never survived in this tournament. He can't bowl 10 overs and back at the top and then, you understand? So this tournament,
And then get feeling firstly.
and then go feel that first slip, and then so
Correct.
what this tournament is do is like watch him because I used to go around. Obviously, it's my man, you showed me my fair way of doing, you're doing that, can't watch. And then you can come and watch because it's cricket, and I love cricket. I don't care what age it is. So when you go around, you will see like, all right, 5 bowlers or so have to bowl, or 8 bowlers have to bowl. You have to include, this is the rules, you have to include. So it means that a person now, you can't come every Saturday and say, well, all right, Nero's the best bowler. Nero gonna win me this game. And John Paul coming from cricket, coming from home with he mother looking for he, and John Paul ain't getting a feature because
So-
the club got Nero. So it includes every. So then you would have got a guy like Jason who tore for free. He would have get.
I don't get
to show
enough,
his
eh?
skills.
I don't want to mention
He
that.
would get to show his skills. So I hope, I really really do hope that the BCA can model, or even they could even include you because it's cricket together. They could even model some tournaments.
No. Let Brief run the tournament.
It don't always gotta be the under 13. As you said earlier, and that age group between 16 to 17. I would even say that's be the gap there. That's where we lost a lot of people, a lot of cricketers because they fall through the crack. You understand? It's basically that's a very crucial point in a teenager life too. You understand? You might not be coming out of school, you might not be looking at a career. So we tend to lose a lot of people in that bracket. So the BCA could probably look at, structuring some tournaments. And I ain't talking about no one-off, no once every. I'm talking about an annual tournament, which would get a better assessment of youth cricket talent in the Caribbean, in Barbados. You understand? So that's all. But keep up the good work, buddy.
Fed, I don't want a BCA running the tournament, by the way. I don't mind them giving Brief the financial planning and let Brief and his team continue to run the tournaments. I like decency and I like organizational structure. Right now, the BCA is still not getting itself together. So let BCA could get them the sponsors and the financial back like a silent partner. Don't meddle in it. Don't bring the rules. Let Brief continue to use his model for the tournament. And we can be good.
But Hassani, you know that the BCA has provided support for the tournament in previous years as well, right? The BCA has been at the forefront. A silent
partner.
So
a silent partner.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. I know there's always a bit that can be done, but we're thankful for the support that we do get. By the end of the day, really and truly, if we really trying to take Barbados cricket to another level, we need as much support from corporate Barbados as possible.
Yeah, rock and roll.
One more question, though, Brief. We asked all the cricketers, but we haven't asked the umpire, the only umpire, male umpire we had on the show. How has it been coping with COVID and the bubbles and stuff like that? We've heard from the player's perspective, but we haven't heard from an international umpire's perspective.
Well, to be fair, Nero, I'm one that I can really and truly just I'm one that pretty much sticks to myself anyhow. So the bubble and truly, really and truly has not been that difficult for me. Hold on a second. The bubble really and truly has not been that difficult for me, right? I trying to get rid of my mom and there. She's asking me for chocolate. The bubbles really and truly haven't been too difficult for me. I just been really and truly glad for the opportunity to be employed. But last year it wasn't a cricket and it wasn't a work for me. So I'm one that I don't tend to look at the glass half empty. I look at it half full, really and truly. And I'm very thankful to be having 4 months of cricket per year because it could be a lot worse. There are many people out there that are not working, that don't have any income coming in. I'm very thankful that I had an opportunity to work, whether it may be a bubble or whatever the case it may be. I enjoy myself.
Really, you any more questions before you train me here, really?
Yeah. For any, we talk on the 13 players and stuff like that. But got on the 13 people, on the 13 children are interested in umpiring. You said that they had, I think it was Vincent Bunner that gave you this book to read and stuff like that. What advice would you give to anybody, whether it's on the 13 that could be a big adult that want to get into umpiring and carry it as far as possible?
First thing I'd say is take it seriously. Take it seriously because at the end of the day, it is umpiring in 2021 is a career opportunity, right? So take it seriously. You never know where it can lead you. When I set out on my mission, yes, I had a vision in mind and so on. So I would encourage any youngster to have a vision in mind. Aim for the stars. At the end of the day, you never know where you might fall. Taking it seriously. Once you take your job seriously, put the effort, you will get the recognition that you deserve. But I'd also encourage young people, to get into officiating. As can be seen, if you look around the world now on television and you look at the umpires, it tells a story of probably what an umpire will be like over the next 20 years. You're seeing female umpires. You're seeing a lot more female umpires. You're seeing a lot of young umpires, and a lot of fit umpires. So, the dynamic has changed from what would have been the traditional perception of what an umpire used to look like or what an umpire would be. It is really and truly a career opportunity and should be taken seriously as one.
Sorry. Go ahead, Rudy. Go ahead, Rudy.
How difficult? Well, we see now at the international level that is the third umpire would call no balls and that sort of stuff. But how before you had that aspect of it, how difficult was it to be watching the way the baller's foot lands, then to still look up to see
really,
what is happening after the ball is delivered?
That was my next question. Like how you just really prepared. Like if there's anything that extra that is due to really get into focus and zone in, because I just say really, you gotta watch for the no ball, you gotta see where that ball pitching, you gotta see where it hitting, you gotta look at height and all these things. When the man coming no ball in that rapid pace, these things happening in split seconds. So that was gonna be one of my questions there, really.
Yeah, but really is a good question, and it's a fact. If it sounds like it can't be done, it probably can. It is very, very difficult. Damien, extremely difficult. First of all, you don't really look down, because if you look, your head's gonna move, and your head should be moving as an umpire. So you just glance with your eyes. So for the time I use the word glance, I can't always be 100% sure. Correct? I just glance it.
Correct.
So really and truly, you're working with parameters. You're working with what you can, really and truly. If it's a clear one, you're gonna see it. If it's really tight, you may not see it. In the history of cricket, man, if they had the auto no ball as they do now, as we've seen, the percentages of no balls by spinners has increased 30-40%. The stats state.
Correct.
If we had this form of technology 20-30 years ago, there would have been many, many more in the balls, because really you have to miss some. You will miss some. Don't care how great or how good you are of an umpire, the best ever. you have to miss a no ball at some point in your career.
Mm.
But it's very challenging. I would say that the auto no ball would have made it a little bit easier because you now can focus. You know, you can focus pretty much at the road, but still, you still got to glance down because
Yeah.
you're still studying. If a right arm bowler bowling to a left arm batsman is running wide of the crease, or if he tight in the box, so you still need to, use any kind of cues that you can to still make a correct decision.
So brief. Another outlier of that same situation. So is the case then you all right? Let me say Australia playing England. Let me just call in sides. You will go and study because you gonna look. You will study particular bowlers and see. You will know for a fact that John Doe's bowl a lot of the balls. So let me pay a little bit close attention when John Doe bowling than if Jimmy Neutron coming from the other end and he ain't known for the balls that you could just do a quick glance. But with John Doe, no, you obviously got to hone in on his front foot a lot more because
For
he's
a
a
lot
prime
more.
candidate.
Prime candidate for Nova. So that's another prime reason for going to the practice sessions. Because if you don't know a player or you don't know a team, right, at a practice session, now you, as an umpire, you're looking at things differently than a player. So you know what you're going there looking for, what you're trying to get out of this session. There may be a mystery spinner that again the batsman ain't picking him. So how you gonna pick him, buddy? You going to the next. You try to decipher. Try to decipher. If that head is bit, if you see the wrist really googly. So you look at him also not only from behind, like if you're umpiring, you may look at him from a wicketkeeper's position to see a different perspective. You may look at him from actually looking at the crease just to see if he's tight on the crease or if he's overstepping. So different player traits, Sasani, as you just said, is what you're looking for as an umpire. Different things, I don't want to call any specific names, but if a right arm bowler running tight into the stumps and he right in there, chances are when he pitched that delivery to a left hander, he there or there about around like stump. You know what I'm saying? So again, you're using as many cues and as much experience over time as possible with these players to try to piece things together to make a correct cricketing decision.
That's it.
And one more brief before I let it guys. I know you talk about the first story, first match. I know as a kid growing, you're watching the Philippines play cricket. The sense is starstruck. You got a job to do by end of the day. You're a young man. You see guys cricketers that playing that you will look up to.
Chris
Obviously,
Gill
that
and Virat
yeah.
Kohli's and all kind of
Well,
names.
Yeah.
So how you feel like? Is it a sense that you're gonna have a chat with them before during the practices? How it obviously you can feel starstruck, and you might be a little tempted to say, this is big. You're enjoying it, especially like everybody's scoring runs. How you contain that emotion inside as an umpire? Like for example, the first T20, that was when Avilo scored 100. As a West Indian at the end of the day, you umpire again, but you gotta keep your emotions in check. How do you manage to do that, especially in a situation like that?
For me, I find that one of the easier aspects of umpiring because, like I mentioned, I'm very focused in terms of when I'm out there umpiring. That's all I'm studying my tram line, studying my protocols, my rules and regulations. Sometimes, Hassani, in all honesty, you would see a brilliant innings and you not even remember 3 shots from that innings when the game is done because you're so zoned in on your job. Even though you're with these big superstars and so on, I'm trying to get to the highest level. I'm trying to minimize mistakes. I'm trying to follow rules and protocols to a T. I'm trying to be a good man manager and match manager as well. Sometimes you find yourself being not too involved in the game, and I think that's an excellent thing because when you get involved in the game emotionally, um, things happen as an umpire. You can tend to, lean towards something, get something wrong as a result of overthinking certain aspects of things. So being neutral for me has never been difficult. I've umpired cricket, with my cousins playing, and and when they come out and kick it and they're in front, gone. Right?
Yeah, umpire me too.
That
And you hackle me. You hackle me, man. You hackle me. I hope you don't do that at that level. You hackle me. I come up,
Hackle you.
Jess, I come up to bat. This,
the umpire be
man,
hackling
Jess,
you.
Jess, you will swear I playing against this man, man.
I reckon you were intimidated when we presence at the ground.
Never intimidated me, brother.
Yeah,
Intimidated.
how I can heckle you
Never
when
yet.
they appreciate it.
But Jess, the man will give me a break. Man, I said, man, why you don't do this, man? You look like this way. You look. I said, Lord, man. I gotta face the opposition and you too. But yeah, man.
Oh, goodness
Don't
gracious
run
me.
Nero. Beat this Nero.
That's a classic, Nero, boy. That
Yeah,
was a
Good
classic,
times, boy. Good times. But
If you know,
we-
you know.
I know a lot of people that look at umpiring as an easy job too. And I had meet you at the beginning of my health journey, very, very transformed. You know, persons might know me as a chubby guy or a fat guy, as you were saying, Caribbean. But we don't deal with no body shame. We call you as it is. So meeting you at that gesture in my life, that junction in my life, sorry. Like I know you also was a little chubby, and then you went up to Canada and you come back, and it was like, who went on here? You're the first person that introduced me to the juicing lifestyle, and then from there it was like, but wait, but you just an umpire because on TV you're accustomed to seeing umpires big bellies, or you understand at that age,
Walk out Dickie Bird, man.
yeah,
Dickie
they're
Bird,
not fit,
man.
you understand? So then
Right.
me and you were having a chat, and you were like, but my Fed, you know, fitness is a very important part of umpiring. You gotta be real fit, you gotta run. Then you will come some evenings and run. It was like, but man, you know, how why it gotta be, and then you be like, man, you actually breaking on and say, well, yeah, you got your core gotta be this strong, you gotta keep your posture. So how is that fitness? How you incorporate fitness into your everyday life to benefit you in umpiring?
Like, it's still a work in progress because I have my hot and cold moments. I am one. I honestly prepare when I will go into intense preparation when I have matches coming up generally, right? So sometimes I go into hibernation as well, but that comes with the pressures of the job as well. Like sometimes when I come home from a tour after that last 4 months, I don't want to hear or see anything about cricket. I just want to shut off. But for me, what works well for me and my body type, my body structure, is something that I'm very thankful that my mother encouraged me in from a really young age. You see, swimming is a fantastic form of exercise. I could go to the aquatic center for a week, 5 days, and drop 10 to 12 pounds just by swimming 45 minutes for 5 days straight. Just take off some serious mass off my body. Swimming again has been working well for me. Over the last, I would say I stopped running, but like I said, stop. I don't run as much at all. I find it a little bit harder on your knees. You know, your knees now.
Yeah.
All right, but the swimming now
But I can't
easier
swim,
on
so
body.
I can still run.
Right. Pick your poison, whichever form of exercise, keep that heart rate up, keep things going. But the swimming for me helps me out a lot. Whenever I get a chance to get in the pool, whenever I have a cricket tour coming up, a couple weeks before preparation time kick in, swimming, rules, regulations, focus. So for me, when I'm outside of cricket, it's been challenging. When you're in cricket now, not difficult. You're in decent hotels, you're staying at generally, especially in international cricket. Good facilities in terms of gyms. All you gotta do is pick up yourself in the morning, evening, or night, and go and play in an hour. Go and play in 45 minutes. Even if you feel like running today, play in a little walk. Just do something to know that you're burning some calories and keeping yourself decent and tidy. Because at the end of the day, also, the players take notice of that too. You know, the players take notice. Like if you come for the 5th day of a test match, 3rd session, and you get a few rounds. A fella may ask if you're tired. You understand? Where your fitness is like. So players just take notice of the really fit guys and stuff like that as well. Definitely. So I think it's important to be match fit, in decent shape, right? Not saying you have to be fantastic, overly fit or anything, but keep yourself certainly as a
All
professional,
right.
certainly.
So out of all the umpires you would have worked with thus far, who has the strictest fitness regime in terms of preparation? Umpires you would have gone on tour with that dynamic and to the book when it comes to fitness on point.
Um, I would say a good few of the Caribbean umpires, they put in their work. But I mean, in terms of the guys that really put in their work, I would say when I got into umpiring 12 years ago, and again, I would have never worked with these guys at that time, but hearing about the Richard Kettleburs and the Chris Gaffneys, those guys literally run miles and miles and miles in terms of their preparation. I'm not sure what they do now, but really, really, those two guys I could say are our work is for that. It certainly.
And
But
my
I
point.
must mention as well. Sorry, Jace.
Mhm.
It is rumored that Toffel as well was also
Samatofo,
was
yes,
a
I was going to
a
mention him.
very
Yes,
focus. He
very.
was very very focused on his fitness,
But you
doing
can
a
see
lot
how
of running and so on.
meticulous he was. I think he's one. For me, he is one of the best umpires I've saw.
Yeah, yeah,
In
definitely,
my
definitely.
yeah, he's meticulous.
In
He's
modern
very
day times,
meticulous. Yeah,
in modern
like
times,
he
he's right up there, right up there.
Billy Borden was good too, but he was funny and the antics was a little. Everybody enjoyed the crooked finger. Rudy Kirsten was the slow death, but Toffel was like a prototype for umpires. Like broad rim, nice, everything immaculate, not much smiling, and just going about his business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Top umpire,
Yeah.
he was certainly.
My final question here, Leslie. Last week we had Kevin Stowe on the show, and he would have spoken uh pretty much in depth about the importance of setting up life, putting measures in place for life after cricket, and some of the guys tonight would have would have touched on you having that hustler, that go getter mentality. um so I just wanted to hear from you, just speak a little more about you know the importance of setting up yourself to ensure that you can still live after cricket.
Yeah, I think that's very very important. Um, Setting up yourself financially is crucial to your livelihood at the end of the day for yours and your family. So
Mm.
with or without cricket, I think it's important for any young man, woman to try to have something to fall back on, whether that may be a business, whether that may be a skill, whether that may be a trade, whatever it may be. It can't only be, it shouldn't only be cricket, 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 because at the end of the day, as a cricketer, you certainly only have a short lifespan, playing time. And then some guys are fortunate enough to move into coaching. But again, not everybody wants to be a coach. Some guys may move into umpiring, different administrative positions. But generally, especially in the Caribbean, you find guys just moving on into completely different aspects of life. And it's important to have something to fall back on and to set yourself up while you are playing the game, while you are earning from the game. Don't wait until it's all finished then to try to set up. I think while you're playing, while you're officiating, while you're match refereeing, whatever you're doing, you should be trying to use some of those funds to set yourself up in another aspect of life, just in case this mainstream
Mhm,
gig, for example, falls through.
mhm,
It's very, very, very important.
I don't know any more of the guys, if the guys have any more questions.
I got two more. I got two more quick
Oh,
ones here,
really?
Leslie.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Yes, really.
Um, who do you enjoy working with the most? And the quickest bowler you've actually seen a player or parry from anywhere in the world. You don't necessarily have to be from the Caribbean.
Please repeat that. Who do I enjoy working with the
With the
most? You said.
most. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Lord, no.
oh, good question, boy. A good question. I really enjoy umpiring with Carl Tuckett from Nevis, and there's a guy from St. Vincent, Dayton Butler. I enjoy umpiring with him. I enjoy umpiring with Joel Wilson, right?
Rock and roll. Can you rock and roll for me, please?
Nigel Duguid. I mean, all the guys are enjoyable, but everybody, you have different individuals that you will gravitate to more and so on. So, but yeah, those few guys I really enjoy umpiring with. From an international perspective, I enjoy umpiring with Kumar Dharmasena, man. I made my one day debut with him, man. It nice feeling. Totally in control. The level of respect that man gets on a cricket field is significant. A significant level of respect, boy. Just as a former World Cup winner too. World Cup winner with Sri Lanka. Get a lot of respect, man. A lot of respect, Kumar Dharmasena. So those are a few guys that I would have worked with. I really enjoy. I mean, guys. That's not to say I don't like the body, but there are a few guys, you really have a real tight, a nice rapport with and so on. But I also, there was a game I did, man. I can't left out this fella. A county legend, Peter Willie, right? I did a game with him in England, and Peter Willie was played 400 first class matches and umpire 400 too. The man on there 1,000 first class matches. But I tell you what, man, I just know that have seen everything in cricket, everything. And the man even know, like, I was in England on an exchange. So the man knew that obviously he's a West Indian. The fella's in accustomed to the cold. So you turn up at the game, I hadn't met him or anything as yet. The man walked with about 3 extra sweaters for me. Jesus. So you know that I get in, but you're gonna need some extra. So again, a very kind and a very good gesture. So somebody like that, you learn a lot from. I really enjoy that experience with him as a youngster coming up. I met him when I was about 23. I'm in England when I did a exchange. I did a little bit of county cricket, and he's one of the first guys that I worked with in England. Really nice man, Peter Willie. His son David plays international cricket now.
Just a quick question, brief. It really hurts me because he ain't mentioned the person thought it was mentioned. What about Peter Nero, man?
But you see, the problem is, right, is that I haven't umpired with Nero in a long time because Nero doesn't umpire anymore. He just know what umpires coach, right? But let me tell you something. I made my first class debut with Peter Nero. On my list day debut too. A hell of a man, a gentleman. Let me tell you, a really, really good person. A good mentor as well. It's not regardless of what anyone thinks. A really good umpire as well. Knows the protocols, rules, laws down to a T. Top man.
One thing about you, brief boy, use butter up for your friends, boy. Let me tell you, boy, use lay on thick, man. Use lay on thick,
and boy. Pick them too, and pick them as well.
Telling me.
Pick them as well. Must tour. Got to tour, man.
Don't forget a really last question that he was asking. The quickest bowler you would have stand up to in international cricket.
That's a good one there, really, boy. That's a good one, boy. All right, I can't say international cricket. Don't let me say international cricket.
Well, I don't think really say international cricket. That would be me. Sorry.
All right, let me. In the next of one of these series, I just finished there now. Pakistan, youngster Naseem Shah. I mean, he played in the CPL. He played in the CPL, guys, but the wickets were slow and so on. You got to remember that. But I saw him in the nets, and of recent memory, that stood out. That pace going down in terms of glancing up was troublesome. Mm-hmm. It was really going on the road. That was significant pace. Other than that, Fidel used to send it down a few years ago, certainly, and then he got a weird action as well, so it really goes through, right? I wouldn't have done a lot of. Oh, Can't forget start, buddy. Can't forget start. Can't forget start. Glance, they don't glance, nothing at there. It right up there by Simmons. It up there. It there, brother. They telling you it there. It there. In a lot of time. Thanks to the auto ball. In a lot of time they're tall, but and it leads you to wonder, guys, like obviously as an umpire, you know as an umpire that would have played cricket and not reached test cricket level, the highest level. You know the skill level that it would take, the drive, the dedication for those guys to get there. Right? So you're there officiating, and my stance is generally 8 to 10 feet behind these stumps. Right? Those guys 22 yards down there, facing that, you know. You sometimes you must admire, you know, the battle that is happening between two cricketers and embrace it. It's a wonderful thing. If you love cricket, when you go there, you in the battle, you see 2 or 3 guys really battling at each other. There ain't nothing sweeter than that. If you think this stuff might sweet, man, you don't want to hear it out there in person. Out there in person is the sweetest thing. As a cricket person, out there in the middle is the sweetest thing you could ever be. The best seat in the house is as an umpire. As boring as it may look, as hard as the job may be, you get to hear all the little whistles, the nizzles, the niggles. Nice, man. I love to hear it.
Could imagine.
But you know the funny thing about he said he faced and starting to let no stumps, so but no LBW starting high stumps right back. So by time
I hit your front pad too.
Yeah,
hard.
Yeah, one and a half front pad, boy. But as it could the time frame there, boy. And the start to, especially born and run there, I wanted that
swinging back
with my pitch there, boy.
Swinging back, nipping back.
Jeez, that there gotta be quick for you. That gotta be quick for you.
Significant pace.
Yeah.
You umpire the Joe for yet?
Yeah. Joe, I haven't had Joe as an international, but I've had Joe as an under 19 at the Cigar Field Sobers tournament a good few years ago. And having never heard of this little guy, I was in Canada studying, just came back down, went straight on the field, do some umpiring the next 2 days. And all I saw I can say I saw it, but you know, in your periphery vision, when somebody running up, and the next day, all I saw is this, I guess they call it the coil, I don't know, this 6 and a 9, all I saw is this, and I saw this here going down the road, man. I saw this going, oh lost, man, the ball climbing and going towards, Casanova, the 3W stand?
Yeah.
3W stand? Yes? No, 3Ws, the stand at the office, guys.
You went at NS?
The stand is that. No, the stand at the BCA office.
You went Daddy.
Holographic.
The BCA office. No, the BCA office is
the BCA is being the 3Ws.
Right. So he was coming from the media center end, and he had to be 18 then. And the ball was kicking. It was quick. I was wondering, who's this? This is something different. This is something different. But I haven't seen him at international level as yet. So at the back of that pace. And Mark Wood is quite sharp as well. Mark Wood, short run up, skiddy.
Yeah.
Skiddy. Guys that have a short run up and bowl quickly are generally harder to bat than guys that have a long run up and bowl quickly.
Rhythm.
Guys like Joe from Mark Wood, even that fella
Boomerang. Boomerang got a short run.
Boomerang. Fishhead. Don't get tired with that little fella Fishhead from Ghana, Amazon Warriors. Odin Smith. He bowled a short run up.
Go quick.
Boomerang's going on there, boy. On a slow pitch too. Yeah. Definitely.
So what's before we sign up quick, brief. So what's next for brief? What's next on the schedule? Where can we see brief next?
Well, in the works of trying to, as you guys would have heard stuff he mentioned last week, trying to get up into the US to do a little bit of cricket. There's no cricket in Barbados right now. As you know, cricket is my form of employment, so I'd be seeking opportunities outside. and be options outside in the meantime until cricket is back up in Barbados. Other than that, nothing really on the horizons as of yet. There's the T20 World Cup coming up, but I'm not involved in that. I'm not at that level as yet. So really and truly, just so hopefully some cricket in the States. Hopefully the BCA gets a season here in Barbados if we can get these COVID numbers down. And just any regional cricket that comes up, I'm of course available. We'll be looking forward to getting out there, because at the end of the day, cricket is what takes care of my cricket is what takes care of my livelihood. So at the end, they need to work, have to work. Employment is crucial for all of us.
That's true.
Agreed.
All right, Leslie. On behalf of the guys, I'd like to thank you for coming out. As long when he works, Really appreciate it, mate. But before I let you go, the question not coming. Who you would like to see on bench start? And you go and negotiate it first.
Well, all right. So I got to think about it and get back to you guys. Or drop it now.
You can be saying no. Let me hear what you're thinking. Let me see what you're thinking.
Yeah, boy, you gotta get rich, boy. You gotta get Raymond, boy. You gotta get Raymond.
CLS, man.
You gotta get Raymond, boy. Yeah, you gotta get Reef. Reef is a nice addition for this gig. You fellas get a pick Reef brain as a fella that has kind of been in and out of the system. You get to see from a different aspect as well. Different aspect.
Yeah, that would be.
All right, we'll plug me in.
Plug me.
Fellas, I really want to thank you guys for this opportunity as well. Sorry about the little technical difficulties earlier. But again, this platform, I've been watching you guys now for a number of months. I enjoy the platform. It's fantastic, giving guys opportunity to come out and showcase the skills in terms of speaking and getting themselves out there and known to the public. And again, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Continue to build on this, and let's make this show bigger and better. Because at the end of the day, you're probably one of the only cricket shows as well that actually gets the cricketers to come and speak to you. So that is quite crucial. You're hearing it from the horse's mouth at the end of the day.
Fast.
Thanks, buddy. We appreciate that, man.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Cheers,
as Nero said, wish you all the best going forward in your future endeavors, both on and off the field, buddy.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, and everyone
who
continue to tune in each and every week. We want to thank you once again, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hassani, you want to add something?
No, you forget him. You ain't telling about next week. You gotta let viewers know about next week. What happened in next week?
Oh,
you just can't.
Well, You're really loud. Next week we'll be going on a break next week.
On a vacation.
Yeah, there won't be any show next week, so we'll join. I think that will be October 13th.
Correct.
Yeah, so our next show will be October 13th. We'll be taking as Hassani said, a little vacation next week.
Just a little vacation, yeah. Yes. And get ready for the World Cup.
Fellas, sorry, just to close off. I know when I got knocked off, the guys were talking about that on the 19th fight, right? But I want Dwayne to know that I was a team analyst, captain, manager, coach, everything, before they were even team analysts in cricket in the world. I went to law school, counted how many dot balls Craig batted, and knew how I was going to structure my game the next 2 days. Anyhow, fellas.
I still get BJs. I still get these. Honestly, I get BJs. That's horrible, man. You want fairies?
Catches win matches. A crucial catch was dropped. We should have been chasing 80 instead of 120. Should have been chasing 80. Crucial.
Apples and oranges. Apples and oranges, man.
Leroy, you no more fast, no more.
Good times.
Oh, goodness.
All right, fellas.
All right, fellas.
Thanks, and have a good night, everyone.
Yeah, man.